What's up guys, I'm Vocal Strike, and welcome to the bonus episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. Last time we actually completed the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 story, and this time we are going to be covering what speed dueling is, link summoning, and a little bit of look-see at Vrains and achievements. Which is also why I'm currently here on my actual profile this time, as you can see. And I'm currently not connected to the internet, so just ignore that. That's fine. And we're going to be looking... So let's start off with the achievements, basically. As you can see, I have platinumed this game. The achievements are... It's time to duel. Defeat the Yu-Gi-Oh! campaign. Defeat Yu-Gi-Oh! campaign. Get your game on. Defeat the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX campaign. Let's rev it up, feel the flow, swing into action, and into the Vrains. These are all basically achievements that are tied to just beating the story mode. That is it. That's all you really need to do. Release, which means you need to perform a tribute summon. Polymerization, which means you need to perform a fusion summon. The overlay network, which you have to perform an XC summon. Tuning, where you have to perform a synchro summon. Pendulum swing, where you have to perform a pendulum summon. And data store, where you have to perform a link summon. There's also multiplayer achievements. The Yu-Joe Duel, which is win an unranked multiplayer match. Pro Duel, win a ranked multiplayer match. You can actually do these with a friend. So, if you are literally struggling and dealing with, say, someone who's using like competitively viable decks, you can do it with a friend instead, and the achievement should pop. Doing it, I recommend this, as doing it with a friend's a little bit easier. Lockdown Duel, win a battle pack match. Duelist Alliance, which is unlock all avatars. In order to unlock these avatars, you are doing both of the reverse duels and standard duels. Win all duelist challenges. Deal 200,000 damage with attacking monsters. This is 200,000 battle damage. You don't have to do it all at once. It is accumulative. Deal 100,000 in effect damage. Deal 50,000 damage with defending monsters. Basically, this means that your opponent needs to attack your defense position monsters, and they take the difference as damage. Chain 100 times. This means chaining different card effects. Again, you don't have to do it all in one duel. After all, going up to chain 100, I imagine, is labeled impossible, so this is accumulative. Create your first deck. Create 5 decks. Win a duel by having all Exodia cards in your hand. You can do this either with Yugi versus Kaiba, which was, I believe, the second duel in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Story. Or you can do this using the Exodia deck from the Rare Hunter, who I can't think of the name of right off the top of my head. We are also going to be covering the summoning animations that we have missed. So I will see you in a little bit when we actually get to the summoning animations. Okay. And very first turn, I was expecting this to take a lot longer. So the first summoning animation we missed is Pegasus's Relinquished, which is a ritual monster. And it doesn't matter. Okay, this took a bit, but the next summoning animation we didn't see is Cephalon the Ultimate Time Lord. Okay. Now that that's over and done with, I will see you over at the Vrains story. And I'm back. Now, let's learn about link summoning in My Name is Playmaker. If you are playing the original Legacy of the Duelist, the Arc 5 story has no real context to any of the duels. In Link Evolution, Vrains was given that treatment, where there is no context, you're just thrown in. In this lesson, I'll explain how to link summon a link monster. A link summon is a special way of summoning a link monster from the extra deck. Let's take a look at a link monster card. Link monsters have dark blue frames with red arrows. Each link monster has a link rating. This indicates the number of link materials you will need to send from the field to the graveyard to link summon this link monster. I will be covering 3 cards from the Vrains campaign. And all 3 of them have summoning animations. Link monsters do not have a defense value. They cannot be set and cannot be in defense position. They are also unaffected by effects that alter defense or change to defense position. They are also immune to all card effects that affect a monster's rank or level, since link monsters don't have either. Link monsters can be link summoned to the center extra monster zones. You can also summon link monsters and face up pendulum monsters from the extra deck to any main monster zone a link monster points to. If a link arrow points to an opponent's main monster zone, your opponent can summon a link monster there. Now let's try a link summon. First, let's get a monster on the field. Summon Card Trooper from your hand. Now activate Card Trooper to send 3 cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard. Let's set Call of the Haunted as well. That's good for now. Let's end our turn. Link monsters summoning can be a little bit complicated, but it's not. But when you put it in, it's one of those to where it sounds complicated, but when you put it into practice, it's actually not. At least to me, it isn't. Oh, hi, Cracking Dragon. Ow. The powerful Cracking Dragon will inflict damage every time you summon a monster with a level. Good thing Link monsters don't have a level. Let's play Pot of Greed and see if we can draw cards to use it against. Can I actually? I can. Or not. Never mind. Great! We can special summon Link Slayer. And once in attack position. While you're at it, go ahead and special summon Glow Up Bulb from the graveyard. Vrains actually introduces a new monster type called the Cyberse type. Playmaker also has his own Karibo monster called Link Karibo. Select the tap position. Dotscaper has been sent to the graveyard. Let's special summon that monster too. In a tap position. Let's get more link material on the field. Normal summon Draconet. Activate the effect of Draconet. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 2 or lower normal monster from your hand or deck in defense position. And it wants us to summon Proton. Now that we have the field full of monsters, it's time to try your first link summon. Each link monster lists what kind of monster can be used as a link material. Link Spider requires 1 normal monster. Proton is a normal monster. Let's link summon the Link Spider. The monsters you use for a link summoning must be face up on your side of the field. Link monsters have an additional abilities. Link Spider can summon other normal monsters. Let's use this ability to special summon Galaxy Serpent. It's important to note that Link monster abilities often only apply to monster zones its Link arrows point to. Be sure to think ahead when deciding where to place a monster. Before, card placement didn't really matter. Now with Link monsters, you actually have to think about that. Let's summon more Link monsters. Deco Talker has a Link ranking of 3. That means that 3 Link materials are required to Link summon it, and effect monsters can be used as Link material. Yes I can. Where are you? Deco Talker is one of the cards we are going to be covering. Deco Talker is a Dark Attribute Link 3 Cyber's type Link effect monster with 2300 attack points. Requires 2 plus effect monsters to Link summon, but you must use 3 Link material. Its effect is, gains 500 attack points for each monster it points to. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card or cards you control, quick effect. You contribute 1 monster this card points to. Negate the activation if you do destroy that card. Deco Talker and later Firewall Dragon is Playmaker's Ace monsters. But only Deco Talker in this game has a summoning animation. Now this is where things do get a little bit complicated. Even though it says 2 plus effect monsters, in order to Link summon a monster, you have to use monsters face up on your side of the field, which are not only the type of monsters the card itself is asking for, but the number of materials must also equal the Link rating. So Deco Talker requires 3 Link materials despite asking for 2 or more effect monsters. On top of that, all the Link materials, despite what this card says, has to be the same card. So this means that in order to Link summon Deco Talker, we need 3 effect monsters if we're using regular main deck monsters. We cannot use 2 effect monsters and a normal monster. That will not work. Now select monsters to use as a Link material. It wants us to select Link Spider, Glow Up Bulb, and Dotscaper. Galaxy Serpent is a tuner monster, so you can also summon a Synchro monster. Let's try it out. Synchro summons Scrap Archfiend. Something else to note, Link monsters can also be used to Link summon more expensive Link monsters. So Deco Talker actually can take the place, because it's a Link 3 monster, Deco Talker can actually take the place of 3 Cyber's type Dark Attributed effect monsters. So if we want to say Link summon a Link 4 monster, like Firewall Dragon, which I think only requires at least 2 monsters, 2 or more monsters, we can either do this a few ways. 1, by sending 4 normal and effect monsters that are face up on our side of the field, or we can use Link monsters, to make that a little bit cheaper. Like for instance, we can use a Link 2 Link monster with 2 other main deck monsters, or we can use 2 Link 2 monsters, which will equal up to 4 material, or we can use a Link 3 like Deco Talker with 1 main deck monster. And this would still require fill the conditions because 3 plus 1 equals 4, and you are using 2 different monster cards. That is actually kind of the key point, is that whenever they're talking about materials that this card is asking for, like 2 plus effect monsters, you still need to use a total of 2 separate cards. So that's Galaxy Serpent and Link Slayer. You can also make room in the field by Link summoning. Let's summon the Link monster Proxy Dragon. Which requires 2 monsters. It wants us to use Scrap Archfiend and Draconet. Now let's special summon Link Infraflyer and Turbo Booster to the field. Link monsters can be used as multiple Link material equal to their Link rating. That means Proxy Dragon with a Link rating of 2 can be used as 2 Link materials. Encode Talker is a Link 3 monster that requires Cyberse monsters for a Link material. We can use Proxy Dragon as 2 Link materials and Link Infraflyer for a total of 3 materials. Let's try it. Yes. Note that you do not have to use Link monsters as multiple material if you don't want to. Let's do that again. First, special summon Proxy Dragon back from the graveyard with Monster Reborn. Any spell and trap card zones or any non-monster zones that a Link monster points to are basically duds. Notice a monster summoned from the graveyard can be placed in any main monster zone. Link monsters are only placed in the center extra monster zones when they're summoned from the extra deck. Now let's use Proxy Dragon and Turbo Booster to Link summon Gaia Saber the Lightning Shadow. Proxy Dragon and Turbo Booster. Okay, with everything that you have learned so far, now would be a good time to go on the offensive. Switch to the battle phase and attack with your monsters. We're almost there. Let's finish him off. Activate Call of the Hunted. Bring back Scrap Archfiend. And since it was during the battle phase, we can attack again, since he's a new monster. And that's how you Link summon. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains takes place in a virtual world, is where all the duels are happening. So the cards they're using are basically data. They are virtual cards. And the type of dueling that they have is called speed dueling, which was once considered forbidden and, gone for a while until it actually returned. Speed dueling in the anime is that both duelists are basically on hoverboards, are kind of like on surfboards, and they're basically surfing on digital streams, data streams that look like wind. So kind of think like very, very similar to Sonic Riders in a way. And a speed duel is a very much supposed to be a more fast-paced version of a Master Duel. Instead of the usual field, you have the usual Master Duel field that you have been seeing throughout this entire LP. You instead have 3 spell and trap card zones and 3 monster card zones. As of right now, they have not added in link monsters to speed dueling, but the anime Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains actually shows us what the board would look like if there was extra monster zones. There are 2 ways that, on top of that, I believe it is, the decks are also shortened. Instead of the typical 40 to 60 card limit, I believe the deck limit can go anywhere between 20 and 30. Whereas the extra deck and side deck can be anywhere between 0 and 5 cards. Every single character in the anime has a unique ability that can only be used during speed dueling. These abilities can be activated when certain conditions are met. You also start with 4 cards in your hand and 4,000 life points. Other than that, everything remains the same as a Master Duel. And if you don't have any sort of cards from like any sort of official speed duel set, that's fine, because you can use cards that you have collected over the years. Their effects have not changed. There are 2 ways that you can officially play a speed duel. Of course, minus without the hoverboard and surfing. One is by getting an official speed duel starter set, which comes with the starter decks, as well as a new type of card called skill cards, which takes the place of character skills, or by downloading and playing the official game Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, which is free to play on Android, iOS, and Steam. I will leave a link in the descriptions to any of these for anyone who has not ever played them and is willing to try it. It is completely free. You have no reason not to try it. If you don't like it, you can delete it and you lose nothing for it. But of course, it being a free game, there is microtransactions and loot boxes with card packs. Which, honestly, I have no problems with loot boxes. They're literally just digital versions of card packs that people have been buying in a store for years. However, I am also happy to note that, by the way, this is not sponsored. I am also happy to note that none of the microtransactions are toxic. Unlike EA's case, where they try to shove it down your throat at times, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links doesn't do that. You do not have to pay money if you don't want to. In Duel Links, you actually can unlock and play as characters across pretty much the entire series. Duel Monsters, GX, 5Ds. And it's constantly being updated. They recently added Pendulum Summoning and Arc 5 characters into the game. And it's honestly pretty fun. They even put in summoning animations for pretty much all the cards, all the summoning animations we have seen in Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution, except the summoning animations are better. And monsters that didn't get summoning animations in this game got summoning animations in Duel Links. So the Egyptian God cards, the Sacred Beasts, every single Signer Dragon got a summoning animation. Blackluster Soldier got a summoning animation. And again, the summoning animations are so much better and much more well done. In this game, every time you played the monster, the summoning animation would play with no way of skipping it. In Duel Links, each summoning animation only plays once per duel, so you're not constantly plagued by it, which is really, really nice. Now, let's also go to see the other two. I will see you when I am able to summon the other two Link monsters that have a summoning animation, and we will also be covering them as well. Okay, next monster with the summoning animations is Borlo Dragon, which is Varys' ace monster. Borlo Dragon is a dark attribute Link 4 Dragon type Link effect monster with 3000 attack points. Requires 3+ effect monsters to Link summon, but you must have 4 monsters, 4 material total. Neither player can target this card with monster effects. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field. It loses 500 attack and defense points. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks an opponent's monster, you can place that opponent's monster in a zone this card points to and take control of it, but send it to the graveyard during the end phase of the next turn. Kinda dangerous. It cripples a bit, and it can steal your opponent's monsters for a turn. I will see you over at the third and final Link summoning animation. And the third and final Link monster we will be covering is Salaman Great Heat Leo. Salaman Great Heat Leo is a fire attribute Link 3 Cybers type Link effect monster with 2300 attack points. It requires 2+ fire effect monsters to Link summon, but you must have you must have 3 Link material. If this card is Link summoned, you can target one card in your opponent's spell and trap card zone. Shuffle it into the deck. Once per turn during your main phase, if this card was Link summoned using Salaman Great Heat Leo as material, you can target one face-up monster on the field and one monster in your graveyard. The attack of the first target becomes equal to the other targets until the end of this turn. So it changes your monster's attack points to either be weaker or stronger, whichever one you want. And it shuffles one back row card your opponent controls into their deck. However, it can only really use its other effect if you used another Heat Leo. And with that, let's go ahead and go over who duels who in the Vrains story. In My Name is Playmaker, it is Playmaker versus Knight of Hanoi. Keep in mind that these are probably not their real names, as they do use basically gamer tags, since, you know, they're in a virtual world MMO. The 3-count Vrains is Playmaker versus the Gore. Hanoi's Angel is Playmaker versus Blue Angel. A Storm is Coming is Playmaker versus Varus. Which Varus is his dubbed name. His sub name is honestly a lot better, which is Revolver. But oh well. Ghost Gal's Invitation is Playmaker versus Ghost Gal. Dueling for Answers is Playmaker versus Akira Zaizen. Under Vrains is Varus versus Ghost Gal. Once Upon a Time is Spectre versus Blue Angel. A Bridge Too Far is Playmaker versus Spectre. Gore at War is Varus versus the Gore. Link to the Future is Playmaker versus Varus. The Bounty Hunter is Playmaker versus the Shepherd. Blue Gal's here is Soulburner versus Blue Gal. Tuning Rockets is Varus versus Windy. Battle of the Siblings is the Shepherd versus Ghost Gal. Friend or Foe is Varus versus the Shepherd. Spectre's Plan is Lightning versus Spectre. Windy's Revenge is Soulburner versus Windy. A New World Coming is Bowman versus Blue Maiden. Burning Soul is Varus versus Lightning. Or not Varus versus... Burning Soul is Bowman versus Soulburner, my mistake. Anything to Win is Varus versus Lightning. A Wish Entrusted is Playmaker versus Bowman. Go Go Rabapi is Rabapi versus Ghost Gal. Unbreakable Spirit is I versus the Gore. I's Conundrum is I versus Blue Maiden. Rabapi's Dream is Soulburner versus Rabapi. Back to the Beginning is Soulburner versus Varus. And Separate Ways is Playmaker versus I. As you can guess, some of the characters has went through design changes as the show went on. But with that, I believe that is everything in Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. And also, just as bragging rights, I did 100% complete the campaigns. They also count the reverse duels for 100% completion. I also did all of the Duelist challenges. And as a result, also unlocked every deck recipe and avatar, etc. With that, I think that is everything with Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. So all in all, what do I think of this game? Despite the whole, like, a few gripes I kind of have with it, like not being able to like if you make a mistake on summoning a monster or activating effect, you can't take it back, or you cannot skip the summoning animations, and yeah, it does lag in the single player only. But honestly, all in all, I think this is actually, as of right now, a really good start if you really want to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! It doesn't throw everything at you at once. It teaches you things as you go on. So you don't learn Synchro Summoning until 5Ds. You don't learn Lane Summoning until you get into Vrains. And you don't even have to do any of the stories in order in which the series came out. if you don't want to. You can do them in any order you want. And it comes with all of the DLC duels from the original. It gives Arc 5 actual story context, which it didn't before. And it's literally a $40 package if you actually want to buy this game. It's literally just $40. And it's on every single platform right now. You can get it on PS4, Xbox One, Switch. You can get it on PC on Steam. There is really no reason why you shouldn't be able to pick this up other than just maybe lack of money. There is no microtransactions. There's really nothing toxic about the game. All in all, this is, I think, a very fantastic entry into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. And I do recommend this to anyone who may be new to strategy card games or Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, or maybe to those who haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! In a while and just needs to try to get back into it. This is actually a really good place to start. At least until they actually do release another update to the game where, you know, more extra deck monsters and new summoning methods get released. And honestly, that's really all I have to say about this game. I recommend you pick this up. For the Steam versions, I will also leave a link to the description for the Steam version of this game. The console versions, you may actually have to search it on your console store, which shouldn't be that bad. As well as leave a link to at least the PC version of Duel Links. If I can somehow get a link to the iOS and Android versions, I will put them in the description as well. Both games are really fun to play. Both games are worth picking up. But with that, that's really all I gotta say. Thanks so much for sticking around to this Let's Play, all two of you. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next Let's Play.